The Assistant Democratic Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, imagine a president coming before a joint session of Congress and using his bully pulpit to call for a fundamental change in the way that we fund political campaigns in America. Imagine a president saying we need to buy back our democracy by replacing special interest funded elections with publicly funded elections. As hard as it may be to believe, that happened. An American president did say that 100 years ago. His name was Teddy Roosevelt, and his call for public financing of campaigns was the cornerstone of his 1907 State of the Union address. I know the Senate moves slowly, but a century is long enough to wait. Congress can pass all the lobbying and ethics reforms we want, but we won't get to the heart of the problem when it comes to the confidence of the American public until we address the issue of campaign financing. Special interest money and influence will always find new loopholes until we change this political system fundamentally. Just yesterday, Senator Specter and I introduced a plan to do that. It's called the Fair Elections Now Act. Our bill will create a pool of public, accountable funds that qualified U.S. Senate candidates can use to fund their campaigns in place of special interest dollars and dollars from wealthy donors. The program that we propose is strictly voluntary, and it's consistent with our Constitution. For years, I've always resisted the idea of public financing of political campaigns. I used to have this kind of quick response when people would ask me about public financing. It was a pretty good one. I used to say, I don't want a dime of federal taxpayers' dollars going to some racist like David Duke running for office. Well, it was a pretty good response. But frankly, as I reflect on it now, it really ignores the obvious. For every miscreant like David Duke, there are thousands of good men and women in both political parties who are forced into a system which is fundamentally corrupting. The stakes right now are too high in America not to change. A lot of people in America on both sides of the fence have a sneaky feeling that our democracy is in real trouble. And no wonder. Just look around. All the scandal and all the suspicion, the so-called culture of corruption. Take a good look, though, at the political money chase that consumes more of our time every year. Now, that's time that a senator and a member of Congress doesn't have to devote to being a senator. We could use that time talking to the people we represent, people who might not have $2,000, $3,000, or $4,000 to give to us, but people who are even more important than those donors. That's time we could use to study and try to solve some of the big challenges facing this country, like our reliance on foreign oil. There are many good, honest people in politics, and this Senate is guided by the best of intentions, but we are stuck in a terrible, corrupting system. Take a look, if you will, at the cost of running Senate campaigns. This chart here is an indication of what we're up against. This is the average spent by candidates in the 10 most expensive Senate races between 2002 and 2006. Mind you, this is the average of the 10 most expensive races. You'll go back to 2002 and you see that the number is somewhere short of 20 million. Now you go to 2004 and the number is up to 25 million. Now come to 2006, the number happens to be $34 million. That's $34 million on average spent by the 10 most expensive Senate races by both candidates. $34 million, the average amount. Cost of running for the United States Senate is out of control. To think that the cost of running a Senate race between 2002 and 2006 in the 10 most expensive races has more than doubled tells us that this is unsustainable. Let me show you this chart as well, and it's a little harder to read because the charts are smaller. Here's another figure that's hard to imagine. It takes a mountain of money to lose a Senate campaign today. On average, to run and lose for the United States Senate cost $7 million. That's to lose. That figure, too, has doubled since 2002. Who knows what it's going to cost in 2008? These figures are the averages spent by winners and losers for the United States Senate in each of these years. And you can see from these charts what's happening here. Losers, $7 million to lose in a Senate race. Those running and winning, about $11, $12 million. Then take a look at the total amount spent in Senate races between 2002 and 2006. We have now broken through the $500 million barrier. We are on our way to spending, in total, for about 33 races every election, $1 billion. We're on our way there. There's no doubt that we're going to hit that, and soon. That is the reality of what it means to be elected to this important body. The costs increase dramatically with every election. I'm up for re-election in 2008. Candidates, if they're honest with you, will tell you they spend too many waking moments worrying about raising money, getting on the telephone, setting up fundraisers, traveling around the country, where good people, I thank them for helping me, are asked to give contributions. It becomes a consuming passion because you understand that you're going to need that money to be reelected.